12 Stoic Lessons to Reprogram Your Mind. Sculpted Grace. Introduction. There comes a moment in every person's life when the noise becomes too much to bear. Notifications, deadlines, opinions, fears, they blur into a constant hum that drowns out your own thoughts. We live in a world that glorifies motion but forgets direction, that celebrates speed but neglects peace. In the midst of this storm, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers not escape, but structure, a way to see clearly again. The Stoics lived in a world just as chaotic as ours: wars, politics, betrayal, loss. And yet they found within themselves an unshakable calm. They discovered that though we can't control what happens, we can always control how we respond. This isn't about suppressing emotion or living like a monk. It's about strength, the kind that grows quietly in the soul. Stoicism teaches us how to stand still in the flood, how to turn hardship into wisdom, and how to move through life without losing ourselves to it. These 12 lessons are not abstract ideas. They are tools for building a new mindset, one capable of clarity, courage, and peace. So take a deep breath. Let's begin the journey to reprogram your mind, not through magic, but through mastery. Welcome to Sculpted Grace. 1. Embrace single-minded focus. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less, but do what's essential." The Stoics understood that scattering your attention is the fastest path to mediocrity. To master anything, your craft, your emotions, your life, you must first master focus. Imagine a sculptor chiseling marble. Every precise strike shapes the masterpiece, but a single careless blow can shatter it. The same applies to your life's work. When your attention is divided between distractions, you dull your edge. Focus sharpens it again. In a time when your mind is pulled in every direction, learning to direct it toward one purpose is a radical act of rebellion. In practice, this means simplifying your goals. Choose one pursuit that truly aligns with your deeper values. If it's physical discipline, then treat your workouts as meditation. If it's business, focus on excellence instead of applause. Every day, trim away what doesn't serve that purpose: the gossip, the mindless scrolling, the half-hearted commitments. Focus is freedom because it eliminates confusion. And when you live each day aligned with one clear aim, the noise fades and your energy flows like a river toward greatness. The Stoic mind doesn't multitask. It moves with intention. 2. Find your philosophical anchor. The world will always sway. Economies rise and fall. People come and go. Circumstances shift like sand. Without an inner philosophy, you'll be tossed by every wave. The Stoics anchored themselves with principle. For Marcus Aurelius, that anchor was reason. For Seneca, it was virtue. For Epictetus, it was control over one's mind. Your anchor is what steadies you when everything else moves. It's your unbreakable code, the foundation upon which every decision rests. Without it, emotions dictate your path. With it, you sail through chaos unshaken. To find your anchor, start by reflecting on what you value most: integrity, growth, compassion, discipline, peace. Write your principles down, then live by them. Not when it's easy, but when it's hardest. Read philosophy, reflect in silence, ask, what would the wise do here? Every time you face adversity, remind yourself of your anchor. It doesn't make storms disappear. It gives you the strength to face them. The Stoics didn't seek calm seas. They built stronger ships. Your philosophy is your ship. Build it well, and no wave will sink you. 3. Double your efforts. Effort is not about grinding endlessly. It's about honoring your potential. The Stoics believed that the pursuit of excellence is an act of virtue. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Life tests you to refine you. The more pressure you face, the sharper your character becomes. When you double your efforts, not to impress, but to improve, you begin to see what you're truly capable of. This is not about exhaustion, it's about devotion. When you commit fully, life responds in kind. Start small, but be consistent. Whether it's your craft, studies, or a discipline, approach it with sacred seriousness. When others stop at good enough, go further. Not because you must prove anything, but because mastery is its own reward. The Stoic warrior doesn't measure success in results, but in persistence. Every drop of sweat, every repetition, every disciplined hour adds a brick to the fortress of your character. Work not just harder, but nobler. Let effort be your meditation and excellence your philosophy. 4. Visualize the path. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. They would imagine what could go wrong not to summon fear, but to build readiness. A general visualizes the chaos of battle to lead with clarity. A philosopher imagines insult, loss, and hardship so that when they come, he meets them with grace. Visualization trains your mind to see difficulty as familiar terrain, not enemy territory. The unprepared panic. The Stoic breathes and acts. Begin each day by imagining the possible challenges ahead. The rude coworker, the failed project, the unforeseen delay. See them clearly, accept them mentally, and plan your response. Then visualize your success, not the applause, but the discipline and virtue it takes to achieve it. By mentally rehearsing both outcomes, you create emotional armor. When the storm arrives, your mind will not flinch. You'll realize you've already fought this battle 100 times in your thoughts, and you've already won. 5. Plan the day before it starts. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations at dawn and reflected again before sleep. The Stoics understood that preparation gives birth to peace. A chaotic day is often the result of an unplanned morning. Before each day begins, structure it. Write down what matters, when you'll do it, and why it's meaningful. Anticipate resistance. A prepared mind is harder to disturb. When the day unfolds, you act from order, not reaction. This isn't just productivity advice, it's spiritual hygiene. Planning is how you live with intention instead of impulse. Before bed, visualize your next day. The key tasks, the emotional challenges, the moments you might lose patience. By rehearsing your values ahead of time, you carry them into the morning. The Stoic doesn't rely on luck. They rely on discipline. Life rewards those who plan with purpose. When you design your day, you design your destiny. 6. Cultivate an action bias. The Stoics were men of reason, but never of paralysis. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one overthinking is the silent enemy of growth. Every moment you delay action, fear grows stronger." The Stoic principle of action bias teaches that courage is built through doing, not debating. A person who acts, even imperfectly, gains experience. One who hesitates gains only regret. To live this principle, take decisive action on something that matters, now, not later. Send the message. Begin the workout. Start the journal. Each act of courage builds momentum. When you train your mind to move first and reflect later, you weaken fear's hold. The Stoic doesn't wait for perfect conditions because they know perfection never arrives. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a declaration of strength. To act is to live. 7. Stay in your own lane. Comparison is poison to peace. The Stoics warned against envy, reminding us that another's success doesn't diminish our own. When you measure your worth by others, you give them control over your emotions. A Stoic doesn't compete with others, they compete with yesterday's self. The moment you focus inward, the race becomes pure again. Detach from the illusions of status and approval. If someone rises faster, wish them well and return to your path. Your progress is not measured in likes, but in inner calm. Reflect daily. Am I better than I was a week ago? If the answer is yes, you're succeeding. The Stoic knows that fulfillment comes not from comparison, but from integrity. Stay in your lane, and your lane will lead you exactly where you're meant to go. 8. Purge distractions. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The modern mind is starved of silence. Every moment filled with noise weakens your ability to think deeply. The Stoic life demands space, space to reflect, to breathe, to be. Begin by identifying your distractions. What habits drain your energy but add no value? What thoughts replay endlessly but lead nowhere? Awareness is the first act of liberation. Then, simplify ruthlessly. Turn your phone off for an hour. Walk without headphones. Eat without screens. Create moments where your mind can exist unoccupied. The Stoic believe that clarity blooms in stillness. Each distraction you remove reveals another layer of peace. A simple life is not a lesser one. It's a focused one. Purge the noise, and your purpose will finally be heard. 9. Adjust your expectations. The Stoics taught that suffering is not caused by events, but by our judgments of them. Life rarely unfolds according to plan. The Stoic mind prepares for this by expecting imperfection. When you stop demanding that life be easy, you start appreciating it as it is. Every obstacle becomes training for the soul. Practice acceptance by lowering your expectations of control, not your standards of effort. Expect challenges, but also expect yourself to meet them with composure. When disappointment arrives, remind yourself, this too is part of the path. The Stoic doesn't curse the storm. They adjust their sails. By expecting less from fortune and more from yourself, you create peace that no circumstance can break. 10. Build and optimize your systems. Willpower fades, systems endure. The Stoics lived through discipline, not emotion. They built daily rituals, writing, reflection, physical training, to anchor the mind. When you structure your habits, you reduce chaos. It's not about rigidity, but about freeing your mind for higher thought. Start by designing your morning and evening routines. Wake with purpose. End with reflection. Track your habits. Notice what drains you and what strengthens you. Systems make excellence automatic. Over time, they turn discipline into identity. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. Systems are your silent partners in greatness. Build them, refine them, and let them shape you into who you were meant to be. 11. Surround yourself with excellence. Seneca warned, associate with those who will make a better man of you. You become the average of the 5 minds you spend the most time around. Surround yourself with mediocrity, and you'll sink to it. Surround yourself with discipline, and you'll rise to meet it. Stoics chose companions who refined their spirit. They valued depth over charm, truth over comfort. Audit your circle. Do the people around you push you toward virtue or away from it? Seek those who challenge you to think deeper, act braver, and live better. When your environment demands excellence, you naturally grow. Excellence is contagious, so is mediocrity. Choose wisely. Let your surroundings sculpt your soul as carefully as a master craftsman shapes marble. 12. Flow with the current life is motion. The Stoic doesn't fight what is, they adapt to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Acceptance doesn't mean apathy. It means alignment. When you stop resisting change, you unlock your power to respond to it. Practice acceptance daily. When plans fall apart, breathe. When life changes course, adjust with grace. Every event, pleasant or painful, is a chance to practice virtue, patience, humility, wisdom. Flow with the current not because you are weak, but because you are wise. The Stoic understands that peace is not found by controlling the river, but by mastering the art of navigating it. Outro. These 12 lessons are not theories. They're blueprints for living deliberately. Each one trains a different muscle of the soul: focus, effort, discipline, acceptance, peace. You don't master them overnight. You live them again and again until they shape your very being. The Stoic doesn't chase happiness. They cultivate harmony. They don't avoid pain. They transform it. So carry these lessons with you. Apply them in the quiet hours, in the chaos of the day, and in the stillness of night. Let your mind become a fortress, your heart a compass, and your actions a reflection of wisdom. This is the way of the Stoic, the way of sculpted grace. 11. Surround yourself with excellence. Seneca warned, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." You become the average of the 5 minds you spend the most time around. Surround yourself with mediocrity, and you'll sink to it. Surround yourself with discipline, and you'll rise to meet it. Stoics chose companions who refined their spirit. They valued depth over charm, truth over comfort. Audit your circle. Do the people around you push you toward virtue or away from it? Seek those who challenge you to think deeper, act braver, and live better. When your environment demands excellence, you naturally grow. Excellence is contagious, so is mediocrity. Choose wisely. Let your surroundings sculpt your soul as carefully as a master craftsman shapes marble. 12. Flow with the current life is motion. The Stoic doesn't fight what is, they adapt to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Acceptance doesn't mean apathy. It means alignment. When you stop resisting change, you unlock your power to respond to it. Practice acceptance daily. When plans fall apart, breathe. When life changes course, adjust with grace. Every event, pleasant or painful, is a chance to practice virtue, patience, humility, wisdom. Flow with the current not because you are weak, but because you are wise. The Stoic understands that peace is not found by controlling the river, but by mastering the art of navigating it. Outro. These 12 lessons are not theories. They're blueprints for living deliberately. Each one trains a different muscle of the soul: focus, effort, discipline, acceptance, peace. You don't master them overnight. You live them again and again until they shape your very being. The Stoic doesn't chase happiness. They cultivate harmony. They don't avoid pain. They transform it. So carry these lessons with you. Apply them in the quiet hours, in the chaos of the day, and in the stillness of night. Let your mind become a fortress, your heart a compass, and your actions a reflection of wisdom. This is the way of the Stoic, the way of sculpted grace.